What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we are back with another Destiny 2 video. We've got the weekly reset for the 27th of May, so very soon we'll be able to say that Edge of Fate is next month. I'm glad that one's slowly creeping up. For the moment though, we'll cover all of the content this week in the game, new Rite of the 9 quests and reward updates, plus all of the featured loot, vendors, so we'll cover Eververse, key drops for the week, and a couple of updates from Bungie. So en route to the next expansion, if you want to stay up to date, do us a favor and hit subscribe, as around half of the viewers on the channel have not actually done that yet. That would make a massive difference to me right here, and of course keep you guys up to date as well. So hit the button if you feel like it, otherwise though, let's get into the video. Initially, for the moment, the focus is on Rite of the 9. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Otherwise, Heresy is wrapped up. Weekly challenges are finished rolling out as well, although we have until Edge of Fate drops in the middle of July to complete all of that stuff. And on that subject, in the next couple of weeks, Bungie have indicated that new Edge of Fate previews will start dropping as we move through June. So again, if you want to stay up to date with all of that stuff, hit subscribe and the notification bell, and I will keep you posted. Next up though, hopping into Eternity over here, we didn't get a patch or actual game update this week, so pretty quick getting into the weekly reset. We do have a new quest here for Greasy Luck, which is brand new, available this week. I believe it also said on the pop-up card that a quest for an exotic weapon is available. I don't have that. I've already completed it before, so I'm guessing if you didn't get it already, you might be able to get it this week. Otherwise, that's all we can really say with regards to the Rite of the 9 stuff. So a quest for Greasy Luck. I did say in the reset video that there were 2 quests remaining for Ghosts of the Deep specifically. I'm guessing Bungie are holding on to one other quest for another week where Ghost comes back around, or all of the dungeons are available, because I think that'll be the next thing. But otherwise, nonetheless, let us know if you'll be returning to Ghosts of the Deep this week down in the comment section. And as always, good luck on the hunt for those juicy weapons. Otherwise, we're going to try and check out the Eververse store as we fly into the tower. As Bungie outlined last week, we do have the wizard sets that were never released for Festival of the Lost previously, now available in the Eververse store. There is the option to buy them for 6,000 Bright Dust, or you can cave in and spend silver instead, so that's an option. Otherwise, for Bright Dust stuff, here on the front page, we have the Victory Dance exotic emote right here, so we'll have a preview. This one's been around for quite a while, of course, but you can grab it for 3,250 Bright Dust this week if you need it. Otherwise, there is inventory management, which of course this game is a simulator for inventory management as we scroll back over to the Eververse store. That is a new one from this episode, available for 700 Bright Dust right there. Don't forget to clear out some vault space before the next expansion. Otherwise, we have the Witchfire entrance, a transmat effect up for 450 Bright Dust. We'll preview it again. Kind of cool one right there. Otherwise, for front page shaders, we have Necrostatic available initially, which is 300 Bright Dust, an interesting one. Otherwise, there is also a Rebus Glance available this week for the front page. Over to the main Bright Dust section though, we have Spray and Pray available for 3,250 Bright Dust from back in Season of Defiance, which is a pretty cool one. Otherwise, there is the Stargazer legendary emote, which is up for 700 Bright Dust. If you fancy peering through the telescope right there. Otherwise, we've got the Astrologic Shell available for 2,850 Bright Dust, the Dreaming City themed sort of awoken one going on, which is cool. And then there is Partition Recoil, a very, very interesting exotic ship right here, sort of Vex network themed, I guess. It almost looks like Atheon or something in the icon, at least, but that one's up for 2,000 Bright Dust. And then we have the Slipstream Stinger available for 2,500 Bright Dust. So another new one for this episode. Unfortunately, we're not getting the preview to load right there, but nonetheless, you know the vibe. 2,500 Bright Dust. We also have the Overgrown ornament for Outbreak Perfected, which I've been waiting for a little while. That one is 1,250 Bright Dust. Kind of a cool skin, a bit more basic, but with leaves and things sticking out, which is kind of interesting. So a few new things from this episode in terms of exotics. And then there is the Ursa Minor projection available for 1,500 Bright Dust right there. And finally, for the second page of shaders, we have Safety First available, which is very, very bright indeed from back in Forsaken. Otherwise, Neopop Wave is available. And of course, this one comes up somewhat frequently in the store. Moving on though, we have Whispered Sheen available for 300 Bright Dust as well from back in the day. Additionally though, there is the Royal Protector available for 300 Bright Dust as always too, so give us your thoughts on those. But finally we have the Cabal entrance transmat effect, one we've had for quite some time, but nonetheless these are 450 Bright Dust. Otherwise the Stasis entrance is available this week as well. And finally we have the Renewal entrance. We'll preview that one again, quite nice stuff. So let us know if you plan to pick anything up from the Eververse store this week. We'll take a check-in with Banshee for the featured weapons though. We have Hollow Words, this time with Feeding Frenzy and Disruption Break. The Enigma's up once again with Impulse Amplifier and Frenzy. And then the Taipan 4FR with Triple Tap, Open and Shot. The Mikado 45, which has Steady Hands and Hatchling, as well as Bad Omens with Snapshot and Genesis, Then we've got Path of Least Resistance, which is stats for all and one for all, but keep in mind the weapons and rolls will change through the week. And finally here, for vendors at least, let's have a visit to Shader 1 in the Annex. This week we've got the Tangled Shore set of gear, the Tangled Web set. I think it's called Tangled Web overall. Nonetheless, if you need to add that to collections, you can do. Otherwise, for shaders at Ada, we have Vitrified Chronology, which can be quite a nice shader right there. These are 10,000 Glimmer. Otherwise, the Worn variant of the Echoes of Io is up for grabs this week, as is the War Cult Camo if you're after some older faction shaders. So let us know if any of those are of use to you guys below. For some final content mentions though, this week, the Nightfall is Warden of Nothing and Scintillation is the featured Nightfall weapon. So if that's one you haven't picked up or still need a good roll on, the opportunity is there this week, and of course Adepts will drop from the Grandmaster variant. Otherwise, the exotic mission featured this week is Operation Seraph Shield, where we can get Revision 0 and all of its upgrades. So another good catch up on that front. But for raid content, we have Last Wish initially, which can drop the 1000 Voices as well as its legendary loot pool, and Vow of Disciple is featured as well, where we can pick up the Collective Obligation. Those are totally farmable this week with no encounter lockouts for reward drops, so again it's a good time to dive in if you would need to pick up anything. But our very final mention for the moment would be the Lost Sectors. So for today we have Hydroponics Delta featured, then for May 28th we have Gilded Precept, the 29th will be Thrillerdrome, and on the 30th we get the Broken Deep, which is followed by the Blooming Deep on the 31st. Then for the 1st of June it's Bunker E15, and for June 2nd we have Perdition ahead of the next weekly reset. So if you want to use those to farm for any world drops, there are a few decent weapons that we can go for in there, and of course chances at exotic engrams if you clear them solo. Otherwise, for now, that's it. Everything we've got to talk about this week. I am looking forward to getting more previews and in-depth details and sort of explanations for the Edge of Fate changes. Especially given that things are pretty quiet this week. It'll be nice when we at least get that conversation spinning up. So I'll keep you posted when the details start rolling out, but let us know if you're diving in for a second week of Ghosts of the Deep. If you've enjoyed the video, a rating below really does help us as well. Otherwise though, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.